Hey there guys, I'm Parker Schuler, and for today's weekly survival blog, I will be talking about vehicle survival. Now, this is just what I feel is essential for what I usually do in my car. Now, starting off, I have what is in my glove box. I have a sort of multi-tool. It is a flashlight, seatbelt cutter, and a window breaker all in one. So flashlight, pretty effective. The window breaker, take that little thing off there, and you see that's the point, and you just hit it on a window, should break. And the seatbelt cutter is this little blade right here. So I think this is very essential to have in survival situations. If you need, for example, if you need to break a window as a last resort to escape. Moving on, I have the tire pressure gauge. Pretty simple device. Just put it on your tire, and then the air will fill up to the correct reading, and it'll tell you what your tire pressure is. So very important to have, I think. Additionally, my owner's manual for my car is right here, pretty thick. I think this is very important to have, and to not even just to have in your car, to understand like how to operate your car, and if something's wrong with it, know about how to fix it. So I think that's very important information to have in your car. And two of the most important things to have in your glove box, in my opinion, would be your vehicle registration and your vehicle insurance, because those are two of the three things that a police officer will ask of you when you get pulled over. License, registration, and insurance. Now, on that note, what I have in my middle console is I typically have my wallet in my middle console, and in my wallet I have my license. So if a police officer was to pull me over, I'd be prepared to provide them my license and registration and insurance. And moving on from that, I have some sunglasses, pretty basic sunglasses to protect me from the sun, of course, in the Florida heat and the Florida sun. And my middle console as well, I have a box of tissues just to protect me from allergies and to use as a napkin if need be. And I also have, not in my middle console, but I just have it plugged in a USB port, I have a phone charger. So I think it's pretty important to have your phone charged throughout the day and on road trips. And moving on to the 5 most important things to have in your car, this is all the stuff that's in my trunk. I have a first aid kit. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. If you yourself got injured, or if your friends, or if you saw somebody on the road that needed medical assistance, you could use the first aid kit to help provide immediate care on the scene. And moving on from that, I think everybody should have this in their car, some jumper cables. In the case that if your car were to break down, or if your friend's car were to break down, or if you see somebody on the road and you could possibly help them, you can use jumper cables to jumpstart yours or some other person in the car. And moving on from there, I have a toolkit. Just with some pretty basic tools, nothing crazy, and some extra jumper cables, because you can never have too many. And moving on from that, I have the Halo Emergency Power Kit. Now this is essentially just a big battery, and if this can be used to jumpstart cars, and it can be used to fill up all their tires, and you can use it to fill air and anything else for that matter. But I think this is really important to have, because if your car breaks down and you don't have another car, like you don't have a friend with a car, or you're on a desolate road, you can attach your jumper cables to this and it'll jumpstart your car for you, which I think is awesome and pretty essential to have if you find yourself in that situation. And last but not least, I have my beach blanket. Now, not essential to everybody, but essential to me, as I just usually have this in my trunk as if I want to stop by the beach or the park and lay down, I know I have a blanket to keep me protected from the elements. So that was my weekly survival blog for vehicle survival, and thank you very much.